Hey there, this is, I'm going to do something here I haven't done before. This is my emergency gig kit that I keep in my car, and I must not have had any emergencies in a while because I don't even know what's in here. It's been about a year since I've actually looked at the thing, except for yesterday I put a couple sets of strings in there just because I had a couple I wanted to get in there. Um, so I don't know what's in here. I'm going to open it up and we'll see what we got. So first thing I've got is a back pocket, and I've got a pen. Now, I told my son I was going to do this, and he said he was going to put all sorts of crazy things in here, but I don't think he got around to it, so I'm glad. But a pen is always important to have at a gig. A pencil, maybe even better. This one looks like it may be out of ink. Um, but, you know, if you've got to make notes, changes on your charts, things like that, it's good to have a pen handy and not have to ask anyone. If you have to ask anyone, it looks like you're unprepared. Yeah, you know, don't want them to think you're unprepared. Okay, also a bunch of extra strings in here. It looks like acoustic strings. These are all Elixirs. Um, these must be from a 12-string set because it says 12th string and 11th string. So I guess, you know, they need to put the gauges on here because it doesn't say. But if in an emergency, I got some extra acoustic strings. I'm probably more likely to break an acoustic string than an electric string anymore. Okay, so that's all that's in the back pocket. There's a little front pocket here. I know what's in here, some of the stuff anyway. Probably the most important thing, in case you happen to forget picks. I'm pretty good about always having picks on me. I've got a bunch of picks in here, and I've got different picks because I like to have lots of different options when I'm using picks. I got a lot of my purple Tortex Dunlops. Very common pick. I use these a lot. Don't really use the pink ones very much, but those are good for strumming if I on acoustic. I tend to use these on electric because they're heavy and I can dig in with them, and they, you know, it's a little faster. This is my main one, the Dunlop 1mm for the acoustic. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but that's my main one. I got that in there, and then I've got a couple thumb picks in here. I used to do a lot more classical guitar gigs. And when I would do like a wedding or playing classical guitar somewhere, or a funeral or something like that, if I broke my thumbnail, I could pretty much play with a thumb pick if I had to. Obviously, the technique's very different, but I could make it work. And then I've even got a really thin pick here in case I want that sound. So that's in here. What else do I have? I'm nervous. Oh, that's it in that pocket. So that's all picks. All right. Now we're going to go here. And a battery, 9 volt, the all-important nail file. I think this is called the Git tool. Yeah, Git tool. And it has a screwdriver, like a small flathead, a big flathead, some Allen wrenches for if you're, you know, if you've got you need to adjust the action on a telly or a Strat or something like that, or even some bigger Allen wrenches for truss rod adjustment. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you don't have the right one. Little Phillips head there. And then this is supposedly a wire cutter. It doesn't really work very well. It kind of works. The reason I have this is because it won't get confiscated at airports. I kept bringing wire cutters, and they kept getting taken at airports, so that's not going to work. Okay, I have an EL84 for my main amp. A backup. It's probably an old tube. I don't think that's a new one. I don't generally put brand new tubes in my, yeah, it says old on it. I don't generally put brand new tubes in my bag because sometimes if something hits the bag and the tubes break, in fact, I need to be careful reaching in here. You can have that problem too. Sometimes the tubes break, and I don't want to spend 30, 40 bucks on a tube and then have it just get shattered. I got my EBO in here, so sometimes this gets taken out. Okay, and I keep the battery in the bag because it will, sometimes the switch is real sensitive and it'll turn on and use up my battery, and then I go to use it and it's not there. So I don't use a lot of EBO, but for session work sometimes I pull it out. Here's a guitar strap without a strap lock, just a small little black one. I think I just bought this specifically for this job just to keep in this bag. In case you ever forget a strap, that's always bad. What's this? Oh, this is a little fingernail kit. Hangnails, anything like that, cuticle stuff. I do a lot of finger style stuff, so it's handy to have that. That's really nothing. I can throw that away. It was nothing, I swear. This is a string winder, which, because many of my guitars have spurzels, doesn't really come into play. Oh, this should be in a different gig bag. But this is my cut capo. I don't use this very often either, but I just thought it was cool. I think I have I don't have a drop D capo, but I don't need one because you can just use a regular capo. But this is a cut capo, and what this does, I'll do a little video on this. In fact, I'll leave it out to do a video on it later. But basically what it does is it allows you to kind of create an E sus chord, for example. You put this at the 2nd fret over the top, and it'll create an E sus chord. You put it underneath, it'll create an A chord. The E sus is more common because what that sounds like is kind of a dadgad tuning. All right, this actually is a handy little device. This is for tuning. This helps to tune instruments that don't have pickups. So like my mandolin doesn't have a pickup, ukulele, different acoustics. My Ramirez, my flamenco guitar, does not have a pickup. What this allows me to do is to plug it into my iPod and use my strobe tuner on that. Okay, and just lick this and suction it on. Okay, very gross. Let's see what else. That fell off of something. That's just a belt thing. It looks like about it. And then I've got, okay, this stuff's kind of important. I'm going to have to break this up into 2 videos because I'm running out of time. Look, Band-Aids. Lots of Band-Aids. These Band-Aids, these fingertip ones, these are great. If you ever have a callus problem, a couple times I've slid up on like the E string on my electric and cut right into my callus. Man, does that hurt. And it's very difficult to play after that. And I can play all right with a Band-Aid on. I mean, it's, you know, if I was doing a major session, I might have to take the Band-Aid off. But for most work, you can't really hear it. So I got a bunch of those in here. I'm not expecting to do that again, but just in case I do. And this is some nail hardener, okay? So for my right hand, for my fingernails, I've got that. So just different Band-Aids too, just not just the fingertip Band-Aids, but all different kinds come in handy. Knuckle, you know, if you hurt yourself there. So, all right, so that's there. I've got another. Looks like another. Well, I got how much time? Oh, I got plenty. Because I think just in here is mostly strings. I've got acoustic guitar strings, electric strings. Maybe I'll find a $20 bill. Here's some more old tubes. These are 12AX7As preamp tubes. Here's another preamp tube. Another set of strings, light, acoustic. All right, now I don't really use these anymore. But sometimes my output on my rack is XLR, and sometimes guys don't have, when I go to someone's house to do some recording, they don't have XLR inputs on their setup. So I've got this just in case I have to. It's not the best way to step it down, but I guess these are called step-down transformers or whatever. Yeah, anyway, they're from Radio Shack, and they've gotten me out of some trouble before. Okay, and another tube. I think this is another 12X7A. I got a lot of those. Here's a pencil. Put that. Yeah, I'll leave that in there. And that's pretty much it. The only other thing I've got in here is this piece of foam, which comes in handy sometimes if you need to mute strings that are ringing out behind headstocks or whatever. I'll tear a little piece of this off. And you'll see a lot of my guitars will have foam in there because if you play a short chord and you've got mics, kind of a couple sensitive mics around you, and you hit a short chord and the headstock strings are still ringing out, that can kind of be like, you know, you hear the producer go, "What's that noise?" after you hit that chord, and it's usually the strings either on the headstock, or if you've got a trapeze tailpiece on an electric guitar or something like that, it could be down there too. So anyway, it was very exciting. I'm sure you were thrilled, and that's my emergency gig bag, and I just keep it in my car, so it's in there all the time. So no matter where I'm at, you know, doing sessions or gigs, I know I can always go to my car and get a set of strings or a tube or a pick or whatever I need, a battery, anything that I seem to have forgotten at the gig. So hope this helps. I would recommend putting one together. It really doesn't take much. Most of it's old stuff like the tubes. And God bless you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.